everyone? Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got an exciting one for you because these $2 commanders are insanely good. Let's jump into them after I remind you that there's a handy-dandy card list link in the description below in case you want any of the cards on this episode. Now, with all that said, let's jump into them. First up, an incredibly underrated commander, Denry Klin, Editor-in-Chief, is insanely powerful. A 2/2 cat advisor for 4 mana in Azorius. Enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1 counter, first strike counter, or vigilance counter on it. Whenever a non-token creature you control enters the battlefield, if Denry has counters on it, put the same number and kind of counters on that creature. Now, a straight-up build around this one that's like, okay, yeah, cool, all right, first strike or vigilance, or, hey, a lot of +1 counters. Cool, awesome, that's great. But, yeah, the most powerful version of that is more so just breaking this in half. I mean, just taking a card like, oh, I don't know, well, Lesser Masticore, a 2/2 Masticore for just 2 mana. Yeah, you gotta discard 1 card, but that's gonna be well worth it, okay? Pay 4 mana to 1 image creature. All right, that seems like a lot, but hey, here's the thing. Persist. Because when it dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, it comes back to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it. And again, let's say Denry, maybe just happens to have a +1/+1 counter on it. Then the Lesser Masticore gets that as well, and because of a rule change a little while ago, many years ago at this point, well, those counters cancel out, meaning that, well, if this dies, it comes back. If it dies, it comes back. If it dies, it comes back. You see where this is going. There is no stopping this from coming back, so if you have any kind of a free sacrifice outlet, like even just like, let's say, Spawning Pit, okay? Sacrifice a creature, put a charge counter on it. All of a sudden, you can get infinite charge counters on this, which, yeah, you can make yourself a 2/2 army. Great, good for you. There's other free sacrifice outlets as well that can maybe give you infinite mana and all those things, too. There's a lot of ways that you can do some crazy things with that. But, of course, that's not all, because, well, let's just talk about a card like, well, Grasping Dunes. Grasping Dunes is a desert that can tap for a colorless. And by paying 1, you tap and sacrifice, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Only anytime you cast sorcery, okay? So that's fine. What we're going to do is actually, we're going to put a -1/-1 counter on Denry, because now Denry says, hey, non-token creatures, now you get a -1/-1 counter when you come in. And why would that be good? Why would we want to shrink our creatures? Well, kind of like Lesser Masticore, but on the other side of things, we've got Geralf's Mind Crusher. Crushes all the minds in the world. A 5/5 zombie for 6 mana in blue. Enters the battlefield, target player mills 5 cards. Oh, and by the way, it's got Undying, which is like the reverse of Persist, okay? When it dies, no +1 counters on it. It comes back into play with a +1 counter on it. Exact same thing, but in reverse again. We are canceling out all of those counters, and now if we can infinitely sacrifice this again with, say, something like Spawning Pit, well, we mill all of our opponents out to our heart's content, and they are gone. But of course, I mean, the potential of this commander is even more than just combo. I mean, cards like Eagle of Deliverance can do a lot of crazy things with this. 5/5 Bird Soldier with Flying for 6 mana in white. Enters the battlefield, put an indestructible counter on another target creature you control. Draw a card if the creature's power 2 or less. Cool. All right, I guess you can get a card drawn. That's great. Good for you. Most importantly, though, again, by granting our commander an indestructible counter, all of our creatures enter with indestructible counters. You can do a lot of crazy things with this one, of course, but obviously, Denry Klin does not get the respect it deserves. It just absolutely deserves all the respect in the world and can go about comboing and just doing some really powerful plays in so many different ways. Check it out, pick it up, build around it, and respect the Editor-in-Chief. Treebeard, gracious host, might look very friendly, but my goodness, the amount of just absolute carnage it can have is absolutely crazy. A 0/5 Tree Folk with Trample and Ward 2 for 4 mana in Selesnya, and yeah, that Ward 2 can come in really handy. Enters battlefield, 2 food tokens. Oh, nice, cool, yeah, all right, food tokens, good for me. Oh, hey, whenever you gain life, you get that many counters on target Halfling or Tree Folk. Now, players, when they read that, might go, okay, like, you can get them on, like, a Halfling or a Tree Folk. Cool, okay, so, like, I guess Halfling or Tree Folk Tribal? Sure, great, yeah, you can do that. Or you can just hyper-focus on this creature and make it the most disgusting creature of all time. Again, it already has Trample. Everybody get damaged through. It's got Ward 2, meaning that, well, it's got some protection there as well. But yes, it has, well, some built-in food tokens that you can, pay 4 mana in total sacrifice, gain 6 life in total, and get 6 counters on this, sure. Or you can just go like, oh, hey, you know what we're going to do? Congregate. Target player gains life for each creature on the battlefield at instant speed for 4 mana. Again, we are playing Commander. There are so many opponents that, well, your head will spin at some point. But yeah, that means that all of a sudden there are a lot of creatures on the battlefield. And let's say there are, I don't know, like 15 creatures on the battlefield. That's not even like a high number. There are a lot more sometimes depending on some go-wide strategies, you know, tokens, those kind of things. But yeah, you just play this for out of nowhere at 4 mana and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I attack with my Treebeard. Like, it's a tiny little Treebeard. Maybe it has like 6 power or whatever. Sure, I'll let the damage go through. And you're like, okay, cool. Even if you did block, it wouldn't matter because the trample. But I'll gain 30 life out of nowhere, and you're gone. Yeah, you just one-shot KO players left and right with this. And again, even if they're like, oh, wait, actually, no, I've got 1 mana open for Swords of Plowshares. Oh, wait, no, Ward 2 protects Treebeard. Sorry about that. Of course, obviously, other ones like, you know, Beacon of Immortality are insane as well. Instant for 6 mana, double target player's life total, shuffle into Storm's library. Yeah, being able to go like, oh yeah, I'm at 40. Okay, no, I'm at 80. Oh, so I'm just packing my life total full, you know, being able to essentially go, okay, I'm protecting myself at the same time, while also increasing my commander by 40. You're going to be able to take anyone out basically with a one-shot KO, even if they do have all the blockers in the world. Predator's Report, other really cool cards that work well with this, 2-star creature control. Gain life, you like creature's power, plus its toughness. So once you get things built up, once you get things just built up a little bit, again, just pretend that, you know, your Treebeard, say a 10-15, sure, gain 25 extra, you know, counters on that, essentially. It's insane. Again, out of nowhere, crazy giant life gain spells that just decimate opponents while you just smack them in the face with a giant tree. And keep in mind, obviously, that if you give this lifelink, my goodness, your opponents are even further gone. Lifelink and double strike, even more so. Hitting, gaining life, hitting again, gaining even more life. It's a crazy good commander that players underrate and should not. It will decimate your faces. Prime Speaker Vannifar is so incredibly deadly. You cannot let it stay on the field ever, or it is going to end the game. A 2/4 elf oof wizard for 4 mana in Simic. Well, it is going to tap, sacrifice another creature, search live for a creature card with a converted mana cost equal to 1 + the sacrifice creature converted by mana cost. Put on the battlefield, then shuffle your library, activate only time you cast a sorcery. Basically, lots of text to say, hey, birthing pod. That's basically what this just does. It says birthing pod. You sacrifice 1 creature, you'll get a slightly larger mana value creature, and you bring it into play. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be chaining things, one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. And all of a sudden, if your opponents do not know what is going on, or they don't have a way to stop it, or if they do and you've got a counterspell ready, they are going to be gone. Because you can utilize, well, let's just go through a chain to show this one off. Quirion Ranger, cool, a simple 1/1 that says, hey, bounce a forest you control back to your hand, untap target creature, only once each turn. Cool, okay, bounce a forest, very easy. Untap my commander, all right, cool, I can do that, awesome. So yeah, even if you start off with, say, like, a token creature in play, let's just say a servo, okay? You sacrifice that, you bring this out, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need to untap my commander, bounce a forest, do it. Okay, sacrifice this. Let's go get something that costs 2, like Quarter Monitor. Okay, ETBs, untap target artifact or creature you control. Okay, so I guess I'll untap my commander, tap, sacrifice this, go get something at 3. Bounding Crassus, you're seeing a pattern here. Enters the battlefield, you may tap, run, tap target creature. Okay, I untap my commander. Let's go to 4. Breaching Hippocamp. Enters the battlefield, you may untap another target creature control. Cool, let's do that. This weird horse fish type thing. Anyways, yeah, okay, I guess we're gonna do it with that. Cool, all right, tap, sacrifice this, and then do that up to 5. Body double. Okay, thanks to all those things in the graveyard now. A 0/0 shapeshifter for 5 mana in blue. Enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in a graveyard. That includes yours. You've got all those creatures that untap when this hits. You do so, and you say, okay, tap, sacrifice this at 5. We're going up to 6. Great Oak Guardian. 4/5 Treefolk, Flash Reach, ETBs. Target player, well, hey, all their creatures get +2/+2, and we untap all their creatures. So we untap our commander and everything else, and we tap, sacrifice this. We're up to 7, and guess what? Protean Hulk. Yeah. That's it. You've got so many crazy cool ways to do so many crazy cool things to go and get the Protean Hulk. Of course, you got other ways to untap the commander as well to then just win. Basically, just keep chaining to chain to chain to chain to chain to get to the point where you can combo and win. There's a million different combos with this commander. There are a million different chains that you can do. There's so many cool things that you can do with this one, and it is absolutely effective, efficient, and brutal every single time you play it. It's only getting better, only getting more powerful, only getting more options. Yeah, Prime Speaker Vannifar is so deadly. Next up, Mr. Negative is only a positive when added to your collection. Get it? No? Okay. Anyways, a 5/5 human villain, vigilance and lifelink for 7 mana and Orzhov. A lot of mana, but well worth it because, hey, when it enters, you may exchange life totals with target opponent. If you lost life this way, you draw that many cards. This is an insane commander, one that says, hey, you know what? Life swap out of the command zone with insane potential of card draw 2. What's not to love about this? This one is one where you can essentially just utilize some of my favorite cards in Magic of all time. Some of my very favorite cards. Well, let's go to one that's not exactly my favorite card, but one that sets up my favorite card. Phyrexian Unlife, and enchant for 3 mana. Such a unique card with really cool art on this one. You don't lose the game for having 0 less life. Brutal. Hey, as long as you get 0 less life, hey, all damage is dealt to you as though it had infect. Okay, cool. But what matters is essentially, I don't lose the game if I hit 0, which is crazy. Because I can use a card like Mischievous Poltergeist. I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. It's so simple, so effective. A 1/1 flying ghost. Well, it's actually a spirit. Anyways, for 3 mana and black, pay 1 life, regenerate it. So simple, so effective. Again, back in the day, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a downside to regenerating. And this one, like, no, it's all upside. All I want to do is actually just lose life. So you set yourself up again with a combination like this in Phyrexian Unlife, or even just putting yourself at 1, even just at that. It's a way to set yourself up so an opponent's about to lose. Phyrexian Unlife makes it so they do lose. You go down to 0, and you say, okay, commander enters the battlefield. We swapsies, and you lose. Your life total is 0. Mine's whatever your life total was. 40. Cool, good for me. All of a sudden, I'm up to 40. You can also do a lot of other crazy things. Again, let's say that you're all the way down to, you know, whatever. You know, your opponent's down to whatever. You're higher life total than they are. Whatever life totals are, you can do so many cool scenarios where it's like, yeah, whether I'm above you or below you, it doesn't matter. Let's say that, hey, you know what? I actually want to draw some cards, and let's swap life totals, okay? You know what? Tainted Remedy's in play. Enchant for 3 mana. Opponent would gain life. That player loses that much life instead. So essentially, again, let's say that we're at 40 and opponent's down to 20, all right? And we're like, you know what, opponent? I'm going to be nice to you, okay? Let's swap life totals, all right? So they go up to 40. You go down to 20. That being said, well, you draw 20 cards, which is amazing, number 1. Number 2, the opponent would have gained 20 life, but because Tainted Remedy's in play, and yes, life changing does count as life gain and life loss, they lose that life instead, and all of a sudden, they are gone. Yet another brutal way to take them out. In a somewhat similar way, also can utilize cards like Psychosis Crawler, love it. A Star that costs 5 mana, Power Toast, equal number of cards in your hand. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. Again, literally, a way to take out all players at once. A way to go, okay, I'm at a good life total. My opponent's at a low life total. Let's say I'm at 40, they're at 20. Okay, I'm going to swap life totals with you. I'm going to draw 20 cards and now drain everyone 20. It's an amazing way to take a lot of players down very quickly. It is such a fun commander because, well, you can just keep, you know, life swapping here, there, and everywhere. Cloud Shift, you know, repeatable cards, you know, that can actually do it as well. Any kind of blink effects. You can do a lot of cool things with this one. Conjurer's Closet type cards. Exile a creature, bring it back. Any kind of blink effects, again, because it's an ETB on this commander, and not with a cast trigger requirement, you can do some crazy, insane plays where opponents don't know what their life totals end up being. You're going to keep swapping things left and right. You're going to be drawing a ton of cards. I mean, you could literally do like a storm chain with this commander where it's like, yeah, I've got a bunch of mana dorks, I've got a bunch of untap effects that untap my entire team, and I'm like, okay, blink my commander, swap life total, someone who's got a lower life total, draw 20 cards, you know, oh yeah, cool, some more untap effects, untap my team, get a bunch of mana, do it again and again and again. There are so many different avenues for this commander. It is such a cool life swap commander, and one that is so brutally effective and amazing. Check it out, pick it up, build around it. Trazyn the Infinite isn't even trying to hide what it is, what its name is. Trazyn the Infinite, it's an infinite commander, a 4/6 Necron with Death Touch for 6 mana in black. As long as it's on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all artifact cards in your graveyard. Every single artifact card. My goodness, this has all the abilities, and getting them in your graveyard is super easy. Of course, you've got plenty of ways to do it. In black, you've got self-mill effects, you've got, well, just straight up tutor effects to your graveyard, the entomb type effects, and yes, there are so many incredible ways to go infinite with this. Again, it's in the name, you have to be able to do it, right? So I mean, cast a Buried Alive, and all of a sudden you go get 3 creature cards, put them right in your graveyard. Okay, 3 artifact creature cards, cool. All of a sudden, if my commander's in play, it has all of those abilities. So let's just say, oh, for argument's sake, Palladium Mirror. It can tap for 2. Cool, good for me. All right, it can tap for 2 mana. My commander now can tap for 2 mana. That's great. That's awesome. Oh, by the way, also I've got Pili-Pala. Love you. 1/1 Scarecrow flying for 2. Man, I always forget that it has flying. Pay 2, untap. Yeah, that's the untap symbol. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So all of a sudden, I tap my commander, and I untap it to gain a mana. When it comes to this combination between this and Palladium Mirror, my commander has both the abilities, so all of a sudden, I'm tapping it to untapping it to gain a mana. Tapping and tapping to gain a mana. I have infinite mana of all colors. I am going crazy with this. Of course, I can utilize other cool cards like Patchwork Gnomes. Discard a card, regenerate it. It's just a straight up good way to get more and more and more cards in your graveyard. Again, if you got artifacts in your hand, ditch them. Put them in your graveyard. Great, good for you. Oh, and by the way, also your commander, if this is in the graveyard, can have this ability, and it can be really hard for your opponents to deal with. Of course, obviously, any other kind of artifacts can really help as well, like Guild of the Lotus. You're going to have a lot of, great mana ramp in there anyways, but if it hits your graveyard, cool, your commander can now tap for 3 mana of any one color. Awesome, even better than Palladium Mirror. And of course, if you want to go super crazy, Staff of Domination, give your commander all the abilities in the world. Pay 1, untap it. Pay 2, tap, you gain a life. Pay 3, tap, untap target creature. Pay 4, tap, target creature. Pay 5, tap, draw a card. So basically, infinite mana, again, in any combination that you basically have with, let's just say Guild of Lotus, infinite mana, infinite life, and yes, rules lawyers out there, I know there's no such thing as infinite, but let's just say a trillion, okay? Untap as many creatures you want, tap all the creatures you want, draw your entire library, play your entire library, do all the things. Yeah, this is an insane commander that, well, again, as insane as the artifacts that you put in the deck, even more so. It just gains all those things. So if you've got ways to swap your graveyard with your library, again, self-mill effects, those tutor effects, there's so many great ways to set up Trazyn the Infinite so it can live up to its infinite name. You can do amazing things with this one. Beledros Witherbloom, the OG, should not be forgotten. Again, the new Witherbloom is taking over Magic right now, but do not forget about the old one, a 4/4 Elder Dragon with flying for a 7 mana gold guard. At the beginning of each upkeep, make a 1/1 black-green pest creature token with, when it dies, you gain 1 life. By the way, oh, hey, little thing right here, pay 10 life, untap all lands you controlling once each turn. Here's the thing about this one again. Each upkeep, not just your own, you get a 1/1, then when it dies, you gain a life. That's amazing. 4 creatures every trip around the table. Even just like slap in a couple of essential anthems in the deck, it's like, okay, I'm good to go. I'm making an insane amount of power throughout every single turn. There's some crazy things, of course, you can do with that. Of course, just outside of that, like utilize cards like Mirkwood Bats. Hey, whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. That means that with each trip around the table, without even sacrificing the tokens, you are draining each opponent by 4. That is 12 in total across 3 opponents just by creating those tokens. Now, if you're sacrificing them as well, that's 24 life lost with each trip around the table for doing basically nothing except for getting the creatures out and sacrificing them. And of course, you got plenty of great free sacrifice help. It's like Yahenni. Hey, Yahenni, what creature opponent controls dies, you get a counter on it. It can become absolutely massive. It's got haste as well. Owned by sacrificing creatures, it gets indestructible, so it's really hard to deal with. And again, it's a free outlet for you to do amazing things with. And of course, those pests also gain you life when they die, so you can utilize things like Marauding Blight Priest. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. There's a lot of these types of effects essentially these days, so drain your opponents when your creatures die even further. And the Blood Artist type effects, Aristocrat style effects you can do. Or with the Yahenni, maybe you can sacrifice your commander. And why would you do that? Well, here's the thing. Again, your commander says activate only once each turn on that pay 10 life. Oh no, I can only activate once a turn. Okay, well, let's pay the 10 life, let's untap all our lands, double up our mana on a turn. That's insane, number 1. It's game ending, number 1. But we can end the game even further, even faster by going like, okay, now sacrifice with Yahenni. But first, feign death. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, comes back, tapped onto control, they counter on it. There's a lot of these types of effects, essentially, basically the exact same thing. It's like 1 or 2 mana, like, hey, you die, you come back, okay? Sounds good. So now your commander basically resets and it's considered a brand new card. So you can pay that 10 life again and untap all your lands again, getting 3 times as much mana in a single turn just by sacrificing your commander once. Oh, and paying 20 life, but again, we've got plenty of ways to gain that life back, obviously. Or just win the game right then and there with all that mana. There's no way you can't win. Again, players right now are enamored by the brand new Witherbloom, and they should be. It's an amazing commander, a fun commander, a very fun commander. The old one is so much fun, so good, and so crazy special. Inga and Esika. This version in particular is less than $2, and I like the version a lot. I like other players out there are like, I don't necessarily like the version. I like this version number 1. I also like whatever the cheapest version typically is, because I'm a budget player. A 4/4 human god for 4 mana in Simic. Creatures will have vigilance and tap at 1 mana of any color, only to cast creature spells though. When you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from creatures spent to cast it, draw a card. This is a commander that handles 2 of the most important things in Commander. ramp, and card advantage. It gives you both in an amazing color combination. It also lets you be super aggressive again by giving your creatures vigilance, so you can actually swing while also then tapping your creatures in the second main phase for mana as well. There are so many cool things that you can do with this one. I mean, Augur of Autumn, anyone? Look at the top card of your library anytime, play lands to top your library. Oh, and by the way, if you've got 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creatures to the top your library. First of all, Augur of Autumn and your commander already have 2 of those checked off. You just need 1 more creature with a different power. All of a sudden, you can play creatures off the top of your library. The top of your library is a second hand, and again, as you're casting your creatures with your creature mana, you draw cards to dig even further. It's absolutely crazy, absolutely amazing, all while being able to get lands off the top of your library when you don't want them there, and when you want to actually get them in play, obviously. There are so many spice things you can do this one. I mean, if you want to go super broken, Intruder Alarm, anyone? 3 mana in blue. Creatures don't untap with their controllers untap steps. Whenever a creature enters, untap all creatures. Yeah, basically in combination with, Augur of Autumn, it's like, okay, yeah, play off the top of my library. Oh, cool, yeah, it's a creature. All right, another one, draw a card, another one, draw a card, another one, draw a card. You just basically, maybe, at a certain point, probably, if you have enough different things you can do, maybe play an insane amount of creatures. Maybe your entire library, who knows? Leyline of Abundance. Hey, you can actually play this one for free at the beginning of the game if it's in your opening hand. That's awesome, because it's Leyline. Whenever you tap a creature for mana and additional green, hey, now every single one of your creatures that already becomes a cheaty mana dork with your commander now becomes a super cheaty mana dork with 2 mana instead of 1. By the way, pay 8 mana to get a counter each creature you control. So many crazy things and so many crazy ways to just make this absolutely amazing. And you don't even pay for the card. Murkfiend Liege, yeah. Pump up your green creatures, pump up your blue creatures, and then also untap all green and blue creatures during each other play. Murkfiend Liege! Pump up your green creatures and your blue creatures, which is a lot of them. Untap all green and or blue creatures you control during each of the players' untap step. Yeah, free untaps. Yes, please. Thank you. If you've got any kind of a Dalkin Orrery, all of a sudden now you've got like all the mana in the world while being able to play creatures at flash speed. Or if you just have flash speed creatures, good for you. You can actually just keep playing on your phone's turns. Absolutely crazy. At the very least, it's like another pseudo vigilance. It's like you already have vigilance, you swing, you tap, and then you get to untap them again. Good for you. Soul the Harvest. Hey, it's a 6/6 trampler. Another non-zone creature enters battlefield control. You may draw a card. Again, add even more card draw on top of your commander's card draw that it already gives you. That's insane. Just really keep the party going. And speaking of that, Avenger of Zendikar, hey, a 5/5 enters the battlefield. Make a 0/1 plant for each land you control. By the way, when lands come to play, you get counters on each plant you control. Yeah, again, there's a lot of different creatures out there, a lot of different things out there that give you a lot of additional creatures when you play them. And all of a sudden, this one's like, oh yeah, you make whatever, 7 plants. Cool, good for you. That's 7 extra mana on top of this one, so that'd be 8 extra mana on your next turn that you get, unless they all have haste, which is amazing. But yeah, being able to go, hey, 8 mana on my next turn, yeah. Inga and Esika has so much potential. It is such a fun commander, such a good commander. Again, it's one that handles a lot of the hard things for you. Mana and also card advantage. It's got you covered. It's going to absolutely dominate the table. Felisa, Fang of Silverquill is so good. A 3/2 vampire wizard with flying and mentor for 4 mana in Orzhov. But hey, whenever a non-zone creature control dies, if it had counters on it, you make X tap 2/1 white and black inkling creature tokens with flying where X number of counters that add on it. This is an insane commander that says, hey, you know what? We're going to be going tall, but then super incredibly wide, but then tall again, and then super incredibly wide, and then tall again. It is a crazy commander that says what we're going to be doing is getting a lot of counters on something, and then, I don't know, maybe sacrificing with Baltami to Presidio or whatever, any kind of like free sacrifice that we have. We got a lot of amazing ones. A 2/1 sacrifice a creature artifact, you get a counter on this. Free sacrifice outlets are amazing. This can grow itself, obviously, so when it dies, actually, it can pop as well and turn into a bunch of tokens, too. But yeah, being able to go, okay, sacrifice other things, get a bunch of counters on them afterwards, and then all of a sudden just go super wide. I mean, yeah, we've got plenty of great ways to get counters on things. Just for example, like Cathar's Crusade, a lot of other great ones, too, but this one is really one that takes the cake with this commander. Creature enters the battlefield, under control, you get a counter each creature you control. Again, we're going to be growing our army a ton. We're going to be going super wide. We're going to be making a bunch of inklings. We're going to be sacrificing a bunch of creatures. We're going to be making even more creatures that make even more counters, which make even more. You see where this is going. Oh, by the way, we can really double things up on the death triggers as well. Something like Taste of Karlov. Creature dying triggers an ability of a permanent you control. Hey, you did this additional time. Oh, and also, by the way, your creature tokens have vigilance and lifelink now, so those inklings are even better, including the flying that they have. That's crazy good. But yeah, with this one, doubling up your commander's death trigger is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And of course, to those creatures that you can keep getting back again and again and again, like a Bloodghast, my goodness, it can't block. Oh no, who cares? Has haste as long as it's has standard less life. That's cool. Land enters the battlefield. Return this back to the battlefield for free. So you basically sacrifice this after it gets a bunch of counters on it, make a giant army. It comes back after you just play a land, and then you do it again. You get more counters on it, and you do it again. Raise Something Skeleton, another example. Basically, pay 2 mana, bring it back from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Yeah, again, these creatures that can keep coming back, sacrificing, coming back and sacrificing, coming back and sacrifice can really keep building up our crazy army. We also have things like Luminous Birdmoth, which can just bring our creatures back as it is. Creature you control without flying dies, comes right back into play with a flying counter on it. Good for you. Another counter to add to our insane amount of counters, and also ways to keep bringing back our non-token creatures. Resourceful Defense, another great card. Permanent you control leaves the battlefield. If it had counters on it, put those counters on target permanent you control. Keep gaining more and more and more and more counters. Sacrifice a creature, move them to something else. Sacrifice creature, move all those counters to something else. Sacrifice creature. You just keep this going. There are so many combinations of this commander which are absolutely insane. So many crazy plays again. Go tall, go wide, go super tall, go super wide, dominate all the players. Marchesa the Black Rose is an oldie but a goodie from all the way back in 2014 with this version. A 3/3 human wizard for 4 mana in Grixis. It gets dethroned. So hey, if it attacks the player with the most life or tied for the most life, get a counter on it. Cool. Oh, by the way, other creature control dethroned. Just a small little thing right there. Oh, and hey, creature control, they counter on it dies. That card comes back under the control of you at the beginning of next end. You're like, okay, I just stole that creature. Good for me. Here's the thing about this one. Again, obviously, you can play into your own creatures that get counters on them and bring them back, or you can also play into your opponents. It's kind of like weird, like Undying Rules-ish, but not really. It's like the opposite. So being able to just go, okay, if I get a counter on you, you come back under my control, and I get to utilize you. And that's absolutely incredible and absolutely amazing. So, well, Mark of Mutiny, anyone? Cards like this, threat and effects like this one are insane. Source for 3 mana, gain control to our creature on turn. Get a counter on it, by the way, and untap it. Gains haste till turn, so you don't even need that dethrone. But being able to go, okay, I steal your creature, I swing. Yeah, I mean, doesn't always take the creature out, but sometimes it does. Or we might need to push it in the right direction with, something like, oh, I don't know, a Carrion Feeder. Can't block, sacrifice creature, get a counter on it. Being able to just go, okay, sacrifice a creature, get a counter on this. Bring that creature that I sacrificed back because it had a counter on this. By the way, when this dies, it comes back and a counter on it too. You see where this is going. Or utilize cards like Goblin Bombardment to just decimate your opponents and punish them as well. Sacrifice creature, 1 damage to any target. A great effect with that one. Thran Vigil is such a fun enchantment too at the same mana value, 2 mana. Whenever one of our artifacts and our creature cards leave your graveyard during your turn, put a counter on target creature you control. Yeah, those creatures dying coming back is going to be a great way to move around some counters. Unspeakable Symbol. Speaking of move around counters, pay 3 life, get a counter target creature. Now again, literally, it does not matter if you have the highest life total. You basically always have the option to get a counter on something to make sure you can bring it back. Of course, some mass threat effects are great as well, like Mob Rule. Source for 6 mana, choose 1. Gain control of all creatures with power 4 or greater. Or, hey, these small creatures as well on the other side of things, 3 or less. Being able to just gain all of the big ones, all the small ones, swing with them all, get counters on them all, sacrifice them all, and you just sold basically all the armies in the world. Marchesa the Black Rose is such a fun commander, such a unique commander, and one that can absolutely decimate opponents and their armies by turning them into their own. Celes Rune Knight is an absolutely crazy commander. A 4/4 human wizard knight for 4 mana in Mardu. Enter, discard any number of cards and draw that many cards +1. So already basically an ETB without a cast trigger requirement that is a wheel effect, which is insane. Oh, and by the way, hey, whenever one or more other creatures you control enter, if one or more of them enter from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put a counter each creature you control. Every single creature you control gets a counter. Yeah, this is an insane commander. This is a crazy commander. This is one that is even more set up than a commander like Denry Klin that we talked about earlier for going crazy infinite, because it's like, hey, any creature comes into play, counters on all my creatures. Every single one of my creatures. So all I need is basically, again, a free sacrifice outlet like Viserys here, a 1/1 vampire wizard for a single black mana, sacrifice a creature, scry 1. Oh, and when I do that, hey, I also have like a putrid goblin. Hey, 2/2 zombie goblin, persist. For 2 mana, again, when it dies, no -1/-1 counters, comes back into play with one of those. Oh, but my commander's like, oh, you enter from a graveyard? Okay, counter on all my creatures. Again, that +1/+1 counter cancels out the -1/-1 counter, and all of a sudden, Putrid Goblin is back where it used to be. But all my other creatures have extra counters on them now, too. And I keep doing that again and again and again. As many times as I want. If I've got Impact Tremors in play, I take everyone out. If I've got Mayhem Devil in play, I take everyone out and everything out. Players sacrifice a permanent 1 damage to any target. Yeah, an easy way to take everyone out, essentially. And everything on the board that I really want to take out, sure, just take out your opponent's planeswalkers for absolutely no reason. Why not? Murderous Redcap, though, I mean, just a 1-card, essentially, combo. I mean, you need a sacrifice outlet, but instead of with the Putrid Goblin, you know, and also like a Mayhem Devil or Impact Tremors, you just go with the Redcap, and you just simplify things, all right? 2/2 Goblin Assassin for 4 mana. Enters the battlefield, deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Yeah, take all the things out. Oh, yeah, it has persist. So being able to essentially go, okay, I take everyone out, I take them all out, and I keep doing that again and again and again. Plus, Rune Knight, again, can dig through your library super quickly. Again, any kind of a blink effect can help you just dig even further, get the cards out that you need. You can actually even just reanimate certain things, too, to just get things going as well. It's a crazy, crazy good commander, a crazy powerful commander. And again, it's a commander that's less than $2 somehow. Check it out, pick it up, build around it. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.